Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Parkash Badal, an empire of treachery, betrayal, and corruption. Loved and loathed in equal measure, and his name, his very name, Badal, is synonymous with many swears, many negative adjectives, because he's hated so much. But there exists nothing on the internet, on videos, or in book form, written form, that's taken a little trawl through what Badal has done to the Panth or for the Panth. This video isn't going to give you an extensive history. It's going to give you a taste and a flavour for who Parkash Badal is. And the aim of this video is twofold. The first one is so Badal can see himself, that we, even sitting outside, know exactly what he has done to the Panth, the double role he has played, the way he appeases both the enemies and the people within the Panth, and the way he's kept his chief minister chair at the behest of so many bodies and so many lives. The second one is this: with the elections going on, we think it's pertinent for people to know who Badal actually is. Who are they casting their vote for? He's seen as a Panthic Sarkar, he's seen as a religious Sarkar, a Sikh Sarkar, but it's now time that people realise what exactly this guy has done and what he continues to do. With the recent spate of Panjabi singers and prominent actors advocating Badal and his regime on his PTC channel in a very shameless way, singers like Jazzy B, singers like Gippy Goriwal, Dajit Dosanjh, Harpajan Man, and Hansraj Hans, and a whole host of other people who've talked about how he's building roads, hockey stadiums, how he's been great for the Kabaddi tournaments. This only highlights not only that these Punjabi singers, how immoral they are, how their voice can be bought by the highest bidder, but also it gives a false sense of presentation as to what is actually going on in Punjab. Yes, we may have some solid roads, yes, we may have some big stadiums, but at what cost? At what cost? So now we're just going to go through some of Badal's treachery. The first incident, and probably one which indicated what kind of character Parkash Badal is, or was the Vaisakhi massacre of 1978. Now, I'm not going to go through a history of what happened in 1978, where 13 Sikhs were massacred by the Panjab police. For a detailed account of what happened there, please watch one of our videos, earlier videos, episode number 5, called the Vaisakhi massacre, and you'll get an idea of what that was about. But it's enough to say that Parkash Badal at that time was the chief minister of Punjab, and he allowed this devilish cult, this anti-Sikh cult, to hold a massive procession in Punjab. Now, after they killed 13 Sikhs who were peacefully protesting against their procession, where they were making some inflammatory remarks against the Gurus and Gurbani, Sikhs realised at that point that after decades of peaceful protesting, that the death of 13 Sikhs on the streets of Amritsar on Vaisakhi Day sent a clear signal that they weren't welcome in India. Sikhs are not welcome in India, and they're going to be treated like slaves. Parkash Badal, the chief minister, allowed the head of the cult, of the Narankari cult, and all his bodyguards who were using weapons against the Sikhs that were protesting, he allowed them to leave Punjab and go straight back to Delhi. He didn't even put out a warrant for their arrest. So Gurbachan, this devilish cult leader, escaped to Delhi completely secure, completely safe, with the vehicles provided by Badal. He provided the men, he provided the manpower, and he provided the vehicles to get Gurbachan out of Punjab and straight back to Delhi. Not one single Narankari was arrested. Not a single arrest was made, and not a single police officer was investigated for firing at unarmed, peacefully protesting Sikhs. And this happened while Parkash Badal was the chief minister of Punjab in 1978. This was a clear signal about what this person was going to do to the Panth for the next 30 or 40 years. Let's fast forward a little while to the 1980s and the turmoil that gripped Punjab. This is where the double role of Badal really came into force. I'm going to talk about this double role that he's held even to the present day later on in this episode. But this is where his double role came into place. So in 78, he's let the killers of the Sikhs leave free. And what he's done in the 80s, he's joined forces with the Akali Dal in asking, and Sant Pindrawale, in asking for the Anandpur Sahib resolution, where certain basic human rights and certain safeguarding for the Sikh religion and certain economic rights for the people of Punjab were being asked for. And Badal was part of this process. He was part of the Anandpur Sahib resolution. At the same time, recently, with recent disclosures about what happened in '84, it's come to light that Badal actually was colluding with the Indian government in getting Harmandir Sahib attacked. Now, the most recent discovery and the most recent shocking disclosure for most people was that Badal held a secret meeting with the then Union Home Minister, Narasimha Rao, the Cabinet Secretary and the Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Indira Gandhi, and the Union Home Secretary in a guest house in New Delhi on March 28, 1984, where he sought military action at the Golden Temple. So this was Badal, who in the early 80s was making promises and also was involved in ardases saying that we will get the Anandpur Sahib resolution for Punjab and the people of Punjab, even if we give our life for it. And then when it came time to the crunch in 1984, when the tanks were rattling and the government was ready to take a heavy-handed approach to the Sikhs, Badal actually sought and had meetings in guest houses with Indian high-ranking ministers and the Prime Minister asking for them to attack Harmandir Sahib. This was in March 1984. This was a little history of Badal. This is what he has done just in the 1980s alone and the 1970s. So we can see why Parkash Badal has had 4 terms and is currently serving his 5th term as Prime Minister, because he is exactly the kind of Sikh leader that the Indian establishment want and need. He is the Uncle Tom. He is the compliant slave that is willing to sell out his own people, his own land, just for the Chief Ministership of Panjab. With such historical brazen acts of treachery, it's little wonder that Badal has aligned himself in his current Chief Ministership and his previous tenures with enemies of the Panth. When I talk about enemies of the Panth, I'm talking about his coalition government that he's got in Punjab. People say there's a coalition government in Punjab between the BJP and the Akali Dal. But do we really stop to think, what does that coalition mean? What does it stand for? The BJP, the Bharatiya Janata Party, they're a pro-Hindutva group that are anti-minority. They have on many occasions talked about how Sikhism is part of Hinduism and it isn't a separate religion. They are also affiliated, the BJP, they're affiliated to a paramilitary fascist right-wing organisation called the RSS. The RSS are made up of hardcore, militant, fascist right-wing Hindu volunteers whose motto is Hindu, Hindi, Hindustan. Now this RSS group is massive in India, and you'll see that whenever there's a situation that's occurred in Punjab, whether it's the Shahidi of Jaspal Singh, protest against Rajoana's execution, or against Professor Puller's execution, or a fake Baba is doing something against Sikhi, whenever there's a protest, these RSS violent people with weapons go into Punjab, into streets and alleys of Punjab, and beat down the Singhs. And if you can see many videos of the RSS on YouTube, and they're even making threatening videos like we're making to educate people, they're making videos to threaten Sikhs in Punjab that if you raise your voice, that will send you back to Pakistan. This RSS don't affiliate with any other political party other than the BJP, because the BJP is an extreme right-wing Hindu party. Parkash Badal has aligned himself with this BJP party and is ruling Punjab with the BJP. We then wonder why, when Sikhs are being attacked, when they're being beaten, why aren't the perpetrators being brought to justice? It's because Badal cannot afford to upset the BJP. Now let's think about this nexus that they've got going on. It's the equivalent of the Labour Party in this country having a coalition government with the BNP. It doesn't make sense at all. How can we call this a Panthic Sarkar when they've aligned themselves with enemies of the Panth? That's something to think about. Something also to think about is who is the head of this right-wing BJP party. A man by the name of Narendra Modi. Narendra Modi, the head of the BJP, is the forerunner for becoming the Prime Minister of India. Now, the elections are going on, and anybody who's been watching or reading the news knows that the elections in India have received unprecedented amount of international coverage. Never before has the elections in India for the Prime Ministership been covered so extensively. Why? It's because Narendra Modi has got a long list of historical human rights abuses, and he's the main culprit who's been cited for the massacre of thousands of Muslims in Gujarat in the year 2002. This is somebody who's running for Prime Ministership. This is somebody who's the forerunner for Prime Ministership. With regards to the Sikh community, Narendra Modi has told every single Sikh to get out of his state, which is Gujarat, where he's the Chief Minister, and go back to Punjab because they don't belong there. Now think about this, a Chief Minister of a state the size of Gujarat can tell a minority Sikh community to get out of Gujarat and go back to Punjab because they don't belong there. This is who Narendra Modi is. This is who our so-called Panthic Sarkar, our Sikh government, have aligned themselves with. And when Narendra Modi made this statement, only last year, that Sikhs should get out of Gujarat, Parkash Badal, our Chief Minister of Panjab, didn't whisper an iota, didn't say anything, because he doesn't want to upset the nexus and alliance he's got with the BJP. Let's also look within our own community. Narendra Modi has said these diabolical things. He's been guilty of killing innocent Muslims in Gujarat in 2002. He's polarized minorities. He hates minorities. He's Hindu, Hindi, Hindustan all over. Yet our own actors, Panjabi actors, our own Panjabi singers are supporting this man. You've got actors in Bollywood like Amir Khan, Mahesh Bhatt. You've got so many prominent Bollywood actors, directors, producers who are going onto centre stage and they're talking about Narendra Modi and they're saying, how can we have a future Prime Minister of India who's an actual killer, who's killed people, who's a racist, who's a fascist? These people like Amir Khan and Mahesh Bhatt, they don't have anything to fear. They are part of the majority. They are prominent people. They don't have anything to fear from Narendra Modi. But a minority like the Sikhs and the state of Punjab, who are already being polarized by the centre, shouldn't we be the ones who should be worrying about Narendra Modi? If he's told 500 Sikhs to get out of Gujarat, shouldn't we be worried what he's going to do to us when he becomes Prime Minister? Yet we've got people like Jazzy B, who have the nerve to wear a Sant Pindrawale t-shirt, to sing a song like Buggy, to be part of a Sada Haq film, and then tell us not only to vote for Badal, who's aligned himself with Modi, but to vote for Modi himself. What does that say about the state of our singers, about the state of our celebrities, about the state of the people who our kids look up to? What does that say about people like Jimmy Shergill, Harbhajan Man, telling us to vote for Modi? Again, this is something to think about. This deadly alliance of the BJP who polarize minorities, and Badal, who sells us to the highest bidder, is killing us in Punjab at this moment in time. And if it wasn't enough that Badal has aligned our so-called Panthic Sarkar with the enemies of the Panth like BJP and RSS, let's look at the patronage and the reward he has given to actual killers of the Sikh community in Punjab. Let's first look at Samed Saini. We've also done a video on Samed Saini, so I'm not going to go into it in extensive detail, so please go down and look at the list, and it's one of the earlier videos of Samed Saini. Samed Saini was a normal police officer in the 1980s, but he developed a massive reputation as being a brutal killer of innocent Sikhs, and he rose rapidly to fame. But in doing so, there has been hundreds of cases that have been unanswered and haven't been investigated against Samed Saini. Now, if you get a police officer in this country, in a normal democratic country, civil country, a human country like the UK, and you have a police officer with a criminal record, how far will they go in their job? Not very far. In fact, they may even be taken out. There was a chief constable who was removed from his post permanently because he was misusing his credit card. That was the head of Cumbria Police. Samed Saini has killed hundreds of people, thousands of Sikhs, including Professor Pullar's family. He's wiped out Professor Pullar's family. This is Samed Saini. Now, where is Samed Saini at this moment in time? Is he behind bars? Is he at The Hague? Is he being investigated for war crimes, for human rights abuses? No. Parkash Badal has made him the Director General of Punjab Police. He is in effect the head of Punjab security, a trained killer. And when did Badal appoint Samed Saini as the Director General of Punjab Police? He appointed him in early 2012, just before the Bhai Rajoana issue was kicked up in Punjab, just to scare the people of Punjab, to say, look, here's a trained killer. If you're going to protest, I've got someone who knows how to deal with you. This is Samed Saini. Samed Saini hasn't been put into a major post, a police post, by a fascist Hindu. He hasn't been put into post by the centre government. He's been put into that post by Parkash Badal himself. Go onto the internet and look at these photos together with Sukhbir Badal and Parkash Badal. This is how Badal has spat on the Panth by appointing somebody like Samed Saini. Let's go on to look at somebody like Izhar Alam. Izhar Alam in the 1980s was head of something called the Alam Sena, a very infamous, a very prominent group that operated outside of the law. He recruited people from prison, and he's admitted this. He recruited people, ardent criminals, rapists, looters, murderers, from prison to dress them up as Sikhs and go and loot and rampage in Punjab and defame the name of Khalistan and Sant Pindrawali. This is Izhar Alam. Give you a brief little background on who Izhar Alam is and what Parkash Badal has done with him. Now this is what the US diplomatic cable leaks, the WikiLeaks that happened not so long ago. They actually described Izhar Alam in one of the WikiLeaks. And a US diplomatic cable dated December 19, 2005 said this: with regard to former senior superintendent of police Jalandhar, Mohammed Izhar Alam, we can confirm that he now holds the position of Additional Director General of Senior Police Posting. The cable said that during the insurgency, the Sikh insurgency, he assembled a large personal paramilitary force of approximately 150 men known as the Black Cats or the Alam Sena. This included cashiered of police officers and criminals. The group had reached throughout the Panjab and is alleged to have been carrying out possible thousands of staged encounter killings and extrajudicial killings. And there's a note on here to say that the former Director General of Punjab Police, KPS Gill, who we've also done a video on, please look on one of our early videos to see who KP Gill was. He publicly praised the Alam Sena and said that Punjab Police could not function without them. This is who Izhar Alam is. The WikiLeaks are saying he's a trained killer, that he's killed innocent Sikhs during the Sikh civil rights movement. And based on this, how has Badal dealt with Izhar Alam? Has he put him behind bars? Has he investigated him? Has he looked at the Human Rights Watch report about Izhar Alam? Has he looked at the Wiki cable leaks? No. He has given Izhar Alam's wife, he gave Izhar Alam's wife a ticket from the Akali Dal to contest the elections from Malerkotla, his hometown. She won that seat. We've got a trained killer, his wife, who's sitting on a seat from the Akali Dal in Malerkotla. This is how Badal is rewarding the killers of the Panth. And if you can give patronage, support and reward to killers like Saini and Alam and countless others who I can't mention in this video, and we urge everyone to do their own research, then the following is just water off a duck's back for him. This next segment is about Badal's support and patronage to the fake Dere in Punjab, the fake Babbe, the devilish cults. Currently there's over 9,000 fake Babbe, fake Dere that operate outside of Sikh law, in opposite of Sikh values, customs and beliefs. There's over 9,000 of those. And Badal has had a hand in promoting and supporting them. He's used public funds to patronize these people. At any given election time, he's made a beeline for either Ram Rahim, who dressed up as Guru Gobind Singh and mocked the Amrit Sanchar. He's made a beeline for Asutosh, who's now dead, from Nurmel, and asked for his spiritual blessings. His wife, Parkash Badal's wife, has sat at the feet of Asutosh and worshipped at his feet. There's pictures on the internet, you can search those. You can see pictures of Parkash Badal sitting on the floor while sitting in the court of Ram Rahim, whereas when he sits at Harmandir Sahib or in the presence of Guru Granth Sahib Maharaj, our King of Kings, he's sitting on a chair. He has supported all of these devilish cults. He's given them money, he's given them support in return for votes. So Badal, completely morally bankrupt, is being supported by our very own people, our own chache, our own thai, our own mummy in Punjab. They're putting in votes for somebody like him, who is making sure that our Sikhs in Punjab are getting siphoned off to different cults away from the basic tenets of Sikhi. Despite his flagrant support of anti-Sikh elements, what's particularly galling about Badal is that he's still got hegemony over many Sikh affairs. He plays the Panthic card when he wants to, or he plays the Indian card when he wants to, and our people fall for it every single time. Now, when I talk about a hegemony over Sikh affairs, I'm talking about even our Sant Samaj, the Society of Saints. Now, I'm not going to mention any names. There's people out there who know what the Sant Samaj is about. But it seems that any issue that happens, any turmoil that the Panth faces, it isn't the Sant Samaj that take the lead. It isn't the Sant Samaj that directs us. It is Badal. And he directs us in the wrong way. And he also directs this Sant Samaj. Now, recently, in 2014, I think it was a month ago, a prominent member or the leader of the Sant Samaj pledged public support for Badal and said that we will insist that every single Panjabi in every single state vote for Badal. This is our Sant Samaj. So he controls the Sant Samaj as well, our society of saints. The real saint that we had was in 1984, but that's a different matter. We're talking about these saints. He also has a massive, massive hand in our sovereign parliament, the city of Akali Dal. Badal is head of the political party that nominates the Akali Dal Jathedar because they control the Shromani Gurdwara Prabandhak Committee. So nothing happens in the Akali Dal without Badal say so. We could say it's called a Badal Takht at the moment. Our sovereignty has been taken away by this man who's usurped power in every sphere possible. He's controlling the anti-Sikh elements and he's in cahoots with them. And he's also controlling our pro-Sikh elements, or so-called pro-Sikh elements. The Akali Dal is at the whims of Badal. Whatever Badal says, the city of Akali Dal does. So it's really dangerous for us, not that he's politically controlling Panjab, but he's religiously controlling the Sikhs, our parliament, and our leading prominent Sikh figures. And why would these leading Sikh prominent figures be so besotted with Badal? Why would they run to all his whims? Why would they act the way he wants them to act? Why would they do what he wants them to do? Is it because he's used his political career that spanned over 50, 60 years to amass masses of wealth? Now let's just take a brief look at his wealth, but what I would urge everyone to do is to look at Badal family wealth, assets, and what they're worth. Just have a little look on the internet, and I'll just give you a brief example. Badal was left with 80 acres of land when his dad died. 80 acres of land. Let's look at what he has today. Without having any proper job, he's been the chief minister of Panjab. He hasn't had any business interest. Let's see what he's built up through politics alone. And we'll see, is this a political party that's running for the benefit of the people and the betterment of society? Or is it a mob family that's amassing masses of wealth? How would Badal explain to the people of Punjab or anybody else that his whole wealth includes a fleet of vehicles, thousand vehicles, television channels, one news channel, 2 entertainment channels, including PTC, which most people watch, PTC, which is worth hundreds of crores, 2 super luxury 7-star hotels in Gurgaon worth approximately 4,000 crore each. Besides this, shares in Orbit Aviation, an airline company, and hidden assets within India and outside of India. So this is a man who's inherited 80 acres of land, and this is what he's built up through being the Chief Minister of Punjab. Is this why people run when Badal clicks his fingers? The Deputy Chief Minister of the Akali Dal, the Deputy Chief Minister of Punjab, Sukhbir Badal, Badal's son, Parkash Badal's son, has declared, and this is what he's declared, assets worth over 76 crore. There's about £123,000 in 1 crore approximately. Go onto the internet and see how much that is worth. His wife, Sukhbir Badal, daughter-in-law of Parkash Badal, is worth 15 crore. Between the two of them, they're worth 100 crore each. Let's forget Parkash Badal. 100 crore each. Where has this money come from? How will he explain this to anyone? So the people of Punjab have a right to ask the question, what miracle has happened that Badal has amassed so much wealth over the past 50, 60 years? What have you done? What has Badal done to amass such assets, such money? And what ratifies this point even more is that Badal is influenced by money and power and not by moral standards or humanity. His recent cases that have unravelled in Punjab but have fell on deaf ears but have shook us as a Sikh nation. And deaf ears, none more so than Badal himself, Chief Minister of Punjab. Satwant Singh Manak, a normal Punjab police officer, joined the Punjab Police Force in the 1980s to better society, to protect it. What he found was mass killings of Sikhs, innocent Sikhs. He himself witnessed 15 murders of innocent Sikhs. And what turned Satwant Singh Manak was when he saw Kulwant Singh, a 10th grade teenager, picked up from after school, killed and thrown in the river. This is what switched to Satwant Singh Manak. This is what shook his soul. Only recently, Satwant Singh Manak has mustered the courage to come out in the open and say, yes, what the Sikhs have been crying about for so long, even to this day, across the world, that we were the victims of a genocide in the 80s and 90s. He's come out and said, yes, there was a genocide. We were told to kill innocent Sikhs. We were given promotions. We were given money. We were given rewards for how many Sikhs we could kill. And I was part of that process. He's come out and admitted it. Imagine a former serving police officer in any other civil democratic country making this statement, imagine the country you're living in. Imagine a police officer making this statement. Imagine the investigation that would take place. Who ordered this? Who covered it up? Who covered this up? Where were the orders coming from? But nothing. Nothing in Punjab. Satwan Singh Manik can say that I was part of this process, and Badal hasn't ordered a single investigation. In fact, he has refused to provide Satwan Singh Manik with any kind of security or support. This is Parkash Badal. Another example, brief example. SI Sarjeet Singh. He said that he witnessed hundreds of killings and he was actually part of these killings. There's a YouTube video of him admitting that I was part of the process, I was part of the genocide, and now I'm coming out in the open and I'm telling you that this is what happened. And what's happened? They have registered cases against SI Sarjeet Singh for defaming high-ranking police officers. Let's look at SSP Virk from Amritsar. He was recently convicted of abducting a Panjab state-level footballer, Tajinder Singh Billa, abducting him in '93 and making him disappear, effectively killing him in an extrajudicial killing. Now, in this case, Virk got 10 years in prison. 10 years in prison. One of the only cases where somebody's been convicted from the genocide of the 1980s. He was given 10 years. The only reason Virk was given 10 years is because he ruffled some feathers in the Punjab administration. Otherwise, why hasn't cases been opened after Sarjeet Singh has made his revelations? Why haven't cases been opened after Satwan Singh Manik has made his revelations and countless other police officers? Is Virk upset somebody in Badal's administration and they thought, right, let's open your file from the 80s and give you 10 years? And it's also important to know, Badal thinks it's alright to give 10 years to Virk for making Tajinder Singh Billa disappear in '93. But does he not think it's wrong, it's immoral, and it's downright evil that there are hundreds of thousands of Panjabi Sikh youth languishing in Punjabi jails and jails across India on trumped-up charges like Tada, draconian laws like the National Security Act, for 30 years, and they face no release? This is Badal. This is how he treats the people of Punjab. This is how Uncle Tom is punishing the people of Punjab. Let's now turn briefly to the double role that Badal has been playing for many decades. Now, double agents, secret agents need to be smart, savvy, they need to be intelligent. Whereas Badal, this bumbling, illiterate individual, has managed to fool most of Panth all his life. And whether that's his strength or our weakness is something for us to decide. Let's look firstly at the case of Professor Pullard. We've done an episode again on Professor Pullard. Please go back to see what Professor Pullard was about. In January 2003, almost 9 months after the Apex Supreme Court of India decided that Professor Pullard would be executed, Badal met with the Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the Prime Minister of India. He also met with L.K. Advani, the Home Minister of India, and he pleaded that Professor Pullard be saved from the noose. He be saved from execution. These were his exact words. He said, "We three met Advani and Vajpayee and both promised that Pullard would not be hanged, but now BJP leaders are battling for his hanging." This is what Badal said. In 2009, Badal-led Panjab government had submitted an affidavit in the Supreme Court in which it termed Pullard a hardened criminal, an experienced criminal, and with well-organized international support, and a terrorist. This is what Badal, this is how he switched in 2009, just to maintain his own power and superiority in Punjab. But fast forward 2013, when he could see the whole world supporting Professor Pullard and seeking clemency and trying to get him released. In 2013, Badal seeks clemency because he could see the wave of support for Pullard. And the whole world was jumping up and down and saying, look how Badal is supporting Pullard. This is the inadequacies we have as a Panth, and this is the lack of intellect that we have as a Panth, that we fall for things like this. 2003, he asks for clemency. 2009, he calls him a criminal, an ardent terrorist, and he needs to be killed. And in 2013, he can see the wave of support changing, and he seeks clemency. This is how Badal, the double agent Badal. Let's look at Bhai Rajoana. Bhai Rajoana was going to get executed in 2012, and the whole world went in support and solidarity of Bhai Rajoana. Badal included. Now Badal was seen as the saviour of Punjab and the saviour of Balwant Singh Rajwana, because he and his son went to Delhi and they spoke with the Home Minister and they said, look, we're seeking clemency for Rajwana. And at that time, a stay was put on by Rajwana's execution, and Badal came out smelling of roses. But people don't look at why did Badal seek clemency. He didn't seek clemency and say, oh, this is a young Balwant Singh Rajwana from my state Panjab who was a police officer, and he'd seen mass killings which made him do something out of the ordinary. He was a victim of the system. This is Balwant Singh from my state and I want him released. No, this isn't what Badal said. Badal sought clemency because he said there were other cases pending against Balwant Singh Rajwana, one of them which was a firearms charge. He also said that what Balwant Singh Rajwana had done was in Chandigarh and not in proper Punjab, so it shouldn't be his problem. This was the nitty-gritty of why Badal wanted to seek clemency for Rajwana. Yeah, we jump up and down like monkeys thinking Badal has saved Rajwana. This is the double role, this is the double agent, and he plays it so well. He is using Sikhi and the Sikhs that belong to Sikhi as a political football. He kicks them out the stadium and they don't exist, or he kicks and scores a goal. But he uses us at his whims and we fall for it every single time. Another way in which Badal successfully has duped the Panth, and there's countless ones, but this is a particularly stark one, is the building of the 1984 Operation Blue Star Memorial. The BJP, the RSS and many factions of the Indian society were dead against building a memorial at Harmandir Sahib in memory of those 5,000 innocent Sikhs that died under the boots of the Indian Army. Badal himself was a main player in trying to get the memorial built, to win the Sikh vote, to say that I'm a Sikh. This guy successfully built a 1984 memorial. But what is this memorial? It's just bricks. It doesn't bring the people back from the dead. Yes, it's a memorial and people praise Badal for doing it. But at the same time, he appoints somebody like Samed Saini as the Director General of Punjab Police, somebody who was responsible for killing those people. This is how we are duped by this man. Let's look at Jaspal Singh. Jaspal Singh, who was shaheed in 2012 in a peaceful protest by the bullet of a Punjab police officer, was killed on the streets of Punjab while doing Simran, was killed on the streets of Punjab while protesting against the death penalty in India. Badal didn't even get to the site where he was killed. Badal didn't even do an investigation. Yet a cow was killed in a factory in Mansa, and Badal arrived in a helicopter and built a memorial for that cow because it is sacred to the Hindu religion. For a young teenager who had his whole life ahead of him, the only son of a family, lay dead on the streets of Punjab. Not a single investigation, not a single arrest, no inquiry. Yet a cow can die in Mansa and he'll arrive via helicopter and build a memorial. This is who you're voting for. This is your Panthic Sarkar. But here's the real punch in the nose, and this is when you know we are completely infiltrated from the inside, is that despite everything that we've talked about in this video, Badal recently was given an award, Fakhr-e-Qaum, which means pride of the nation, at Sri Akal Takht Sahib with a saropa and a kirpan. He was awarded for his services to the Panth. Now, not that this award means anything, because the Jathedar of the Akal Takht is handpicked by Badal himself, and so are the Granthis, so he's literally awarding himself. But what it says to us as a Qaum is that we are completely infiltrated. We are completely demoralized from the inside. And it also goes to show how Badal has a monopoly over both state and religious affairs. To conclude this video, like I said at the start of this video, this isn't meant to be an extensive history about Badal. We urge everyone to go out there, do their research and enlighten others once you've done it. There's countless things that Badal has done and is currently doing that we need to be aware of, that we need to be vigilant about. So please do your own research. But it suffices to say that the fathers, the real fathers of the nation, not Gandhi, not Nehru, but people like Bhagat Singh, people like Udham Singh, the Gadri Babe, and the Akalis. This isn't the dream they had for free India or free Punjab. This isn't the dream they had. This isn't the person who they would have in charge of Punjab. If they were alive today, they would be struggling against somebody like Badal and Manmohan, just the way they struggled against the British Empire. Badal has usurped everything that is good in Punjab to benefit his own family dynasty. And what's quite scary about Parkash Badal, who's 86, he's probably going to die soon, is that his son is there waiting in the ranks to take over, who is more bumbling, more illiterate and more immoral than Badal. But what we need to take stock of is our own self. Badal was the youngest chief minister when he took over the chief ministership of Panjab in 1970. He now is the eldest chief minister serving. He's on his 5th term. We should be looking at ourselves. Why have we let such a rampaging traitor go through our band and destroy everything that is good? And even now, there are people back home, friends and families of ours, who will be casting their vote for him. This is not to say that if we don't vote for Badal, that we vote for Congress. This is the plight of the Sikh community. This is how downtrodden we are. We either get 3 slaps from Congress if they're in power, 2 slaps from the BJP, or 1 slap from the Akalis. Either way, we're going to get screwed. It's time we started politicizing ourselves. It's time we started acting sovereign as a nation. And if we look at the current state of Punjab, just to bring home what Badal is doing to our beloved motherland back home, Punjab is number 1 for farmer suicide. Anything that is bad, Punjab is number 1. You type in anything on the internet and Punjab will be number 1. Whether that is farmer suicide, whether that is female feticide, whether that is the use of drugs or alcohol or dairy. Punjab is number 1 in anything bad, and this all goes down to Badal. He hasn't redressed any of these issues because he's too busy creating wealth for his family and a dynasty that will last long if we don't get rid of these Badals. Just going to finish on a quote from a philosopher called Cicero, and I believe this is really, really pertinent when it comes to describing Badal. A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious, but it cannot survive treason from within. An enemy at the gates is less formidable, for he is known and carries his banner openly. But the traitor moves amongst those within the gate freely, his sly whispers rustling through all the valleys, heard in the very halls of government itself. For the traitor appears not a traitor. He speaks in accents familiar to his victims, and he wears their face and their arguments. He appeals to the baseness that lies deep in the hearts of all men. He rots the soul of a nation. He works secretly and unknown in the night to undermine the pillars of the city. He infects the body so that it can no longer resist. A murderer is less to fear. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.